All right, today we're going to break down a really critical business strategy. We're talking about workforce intelligence, but we're going to do it through a pretty unexpected lens, a high-stakes round of golf. So, let's tee off. Just try to picture this scene for a second. You've got a golfer, they know the 18th hole is somewhere out there, but they have absolutely no idea where the bunkers are, where the water hazards are, or how the wind's blowing. It's basically a recipe for a very, very long and frustrating day. And that feeling, it's something a lot of business leaders know all too well.
So this really gets to the core question, doesn't it? This golfer, completely unprepared and just kind of hoping for the best, is a perfect mirror for how a ton of organizations approach their most critical asset, their people. They've got a vague goal way out in the distance, but no real concrete strategy to actually get there.
This whole state of confusion, well, we're going to call it playing blind. It's when you have a goal, sure, but you have no map, you have no tools, and you have no real intelligence to guide you. And honestly, it's an approach that pretty much guarantees you're going to be constantly surprised, you're going to miss your targets, and ultimately, you're going to see some pretty poor outcomes.
You see, the big problem is, when you're playing blind, you tend to just rely on the one club you know how to use. And for so many companies, that one club is just hiring. But think about it. You would never, ever use a driver to try and get yourself out of a sand trap, right? And yet, organizations are constantly trying to solve these really complex, long-term problems with nothing but short-term hiring sprints. It just plain doesn't work.
Okay, so how do we fix this whole mess? Well, the solution is to get yourself a caddy and a full bag of clubs. In our analogy, this represents a complete, robust workforce intelligence capability.
So what in the world is workforce intelligence, really? Well, the formal definition is that it's the comprehensive discipline of understanding, anticipating, and optimally deploying human capital to achieve business objectives. But what does that actually mean? It means having a complete system for knowing your people, for predicting what you're going to need, and for deploying your talent in the absolute smartest way possible to hit your goals. It's not just one team, it's an entire ecosystem.
And this really breaks down into two essential parts. First, you've got the caddy. This is your expert function, the team that's walked the course 1,000 times, they know how to read the conditions, and they give you that crucial strategic advice. And then you've got the bag. That's your set of tools, the specific capabilities like strategic planning and talent analytics that you use to actually execute on that advice. You absolutely, positively need both. Now, having the tools is one thing, but knowing when to use them is a whole different ballgame. That's why the next step is learning how to use the right club for every single shot. Success isn't about one single powerful solution, it's all about deploying the right intervention at exactly the right time. And you can think about your toolkit just like a set of golf clubs. It's organized to take you all the way from that big picture, long-range view down to the final, precise actions you need to sink the putt. So first up, you've got to pull out your driver. This is your long-term, 3 to 5 year strategic workforce planning. This is not about filling the roles you have open today. Nope. It's about asking the big, sometimes uncomfortable questions, like which roles in our company won't even exist in 3 years? What new skills will be absolutely essential for us to compete? This is the club that makes sure you're aimed in the right direction right from the very start.
Okay, next, you've got your irons. As you get closer to your goal, you need more and more precision. This is where you start combining your internal data with what's happening out in the market. You use it to forecast skill gaps, to plan for succession, and to decide exactly how you're going to get the capabilities you need, whether that's hiring new people, training your existing staff, bringing in contractors, or even using automation. And finally, we get to your short game and your putter. Don't ever underestimate these. These are the tools for the immediate problems and for that final precision execution. Think about hiring freelancers to fill a sudden gap, or having a really excellent onboarding process to make sure a new hire is productive from day one. Missing a 3-foot putt can cost you the whole game just as easily as a drive into the water.
But here's the thing. A great player with the best clubs in the world can still lose if they don't understand the environment. And that's why you have to learn how to read the course and the weather, to really understand your unique challenges and the dynamic conditions happening all around you.
For example, some of your business challenges are simple par threes, right? Like scaling a single team. They might just require one big, well-executed shot. But other challenges, things like a full-on digital transformation, well, those are complex, dog-leg par fives. They require a precise sequence of very different shots where even one small mistake can land you in some serious trouble.
And then, on top of the course itself, you have to account for the weather. And in our world, the weather is the external labor market. It is volatile,
It's unpredictable, and it can completely upend the game plan that you thought was perfect just yesterday. I mean, just think about it. A competitor suddenly launches a massive hiring spree. The economy shifts, and all the candidates get nervous. A major company in your industry changes its remote work policy. Any one of these things can change the wind direction overnight, and that brilliant strategy you had, suddenly it's completely ineffective. A strong workforce intelligence function is constantly monitoring this weather and adjusting the plan in real time. So how do you put all of this together to actually win? It all comes down to what we'll call winning the round. And that means you have to measure what truly matters, and you have to treat this as a continuous cycle, not some one-time event.
And this right here, this is a hugely critical distinction. So many organizations just count their swings. They track HR activities like time to fill or cost per hire, because frankly, they're easy to measure. But that doesn't tell you if you're winning. Winning the round means measuring actual business outcomes. Did hiring all those new engineers actually speed up your product development? Did that leadership program you ran actually produce credible successors for your key roles?
And you have to remember, the game is never really over. As soon as you finish the 18th hole, a new round begins. Workforce intelligence isn't some annual planning exercise that you can just check off a list. It's a continuous discipline that has to be embedded into the very rhythm of the business, constantly learning and adapting.
So that leaves us with one final crucial question that every single leader needs to think about. When it comes to your people and your company's future, are you just wandering the course blind with a single club, hoping that you get lucky? Or are you actually playing to win, with a caddy, a full bag of clubs, and a deep understanding of both the course and the weather? The choice is yours.